down here, it just seems like it's always some type of connection issues that's going on. So we're gonna see what's up with this one. So welcome back to the channel. Uh, I'm down here with a printer that a customer had dropped off to me a couple weeks ago, and we finally got the printer up and going. And I guess tomorrow, I want to say, if they can get around to it because of the holidays, everybody was busy with families and vacations and things, wives and children and whatnot. And going to pick up the printer. So yeah, so what we trying to do is we're trying to get everything together and do another little test cleaning, another check or whatnot, and yeah, so that type of situation. But yeah, so happy holidays to everybody. And it's another year that's going up. You know, we in 2025, so we're gonna see how everything goes for a lot of people that's going on. And I just want to speak about the DTF. It's a lot of companies that's coming up and about, and the game is getting saturated with people that's doing DTF, and it's misleading to some people. I had some people say to me, I had a person who was interested in a printer, and happy holidays. I sent all my messages out and asked the person how was it going with the DTF, how was it going with the printing, and they basically said they're going to start doing direct to garment. They said it's better, and I was like, they said direct to garment was better. Now I could have seen if they had said sublimation, because a lot of clothing brands are using sublimation, and they're using direct to garment too, but it depends on what size printer that you have to do these all over print full designs. So I was puzzled. I'm like, I wonder where this person get their information from to saying that that was better, because it all depends on the budget now. Because if you want to go that route with a direct to garment, you got to make sure you have a printer that's going to print large images. You can't just go with a printer that's going to print 13s, especially if you're doing all over print designs or full, graphic designs. So I was just trying to figure out, like, what made them say this, to come up with this was better. But I don't know. But hey, it is what it is. Maybe he's seen something that I didn't see to make him come to that conclusion that direct to garment was better. Now, if you're doing T-shirt designs and things and whatnot, I don't think that'll be a good option for you, unless you're just starting out and don't know about what's out there in the market yet, just getting your feet wet. Or it depends on what type of decoration designs you are doing. So maybe you would need, but I just know that I wouldn't want to go with that if I was doing T-shirts. It depends. But hey, to each his own, like they say, to each his own. But yeah, so we decided to go ahead and make this video. You know, see somebody jump on, see what goes on, see what goes on. So another thing too, I know it's a lot of people probably have problems with their printers so far with the ink cartridges reading and whatnot. So the ink chips that they have with some of these cartridges, you got to be careful because you can get defective chips too as well. So when you have defective chips, you got to power the printer off and power it back on, and it should actually come back on and come to life on you. But um, just dealing with these printers, you got to have some type of common sense or develop some, because a lot of things that you would do with the printer, it's kind of like common sense type of stuff. If you think too hard, or you probably mess something up. You probably have a real technical problem if you overthink it with this DTF printing, especially when you're dealing with the P6000s, 7890s, 7900s, 9890s, 9700s, and whatnot. So you want to be careful with that. So that is one of the things that you want to be careful for. But yeah, so what we about to do now, I'm about to run a power cleaning on this thing right here. Because I haven't powered the printer on it so long. It's been sitting for like 2 days. But the thing about it is, the printers, when you have original ink they can sit for a while. You know, when you have original ink in these printers, they can sit for a while, so we don't have to worry about the maintenance. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Happy holidays to you too. Let me see who jumped on. Baby Giant, shout out to you. Shout out to you. Happy holidays. What I was doing, I'm just speaking about the printer right now, and about the cartridge issue. Sometimes the chips do not read, and if you power the printer off and power it back on, it'll come to life on you. But sometimes the chips that you purchase that they say they're continuous usage, they be like probably 1 or 2 or 3 times you use the chip, and it'll actually burn out on you. And then what happens is that when you put it in, it will not read. And no matter if you reset it or not, it still will not work. Even though it will flash and turn green when you use your chip resetter, this will actually turn green as if it's going to work, and it won't. Because in the series of these ink chips, once you use it a certain amount of times, it cancels that chip out. So it knows it's been used so many amount of times, and you have to put another one in. And that happens. So I just had an experience with a printer. A person had 4 bad chips, and I had a video I just made about that. So what I had to do, you take one chip out, all of them work. You put it back in, none of them work. You take one out, the other one works. It has a little bit to do. It kind of have a similarity of a blown motherboard, but that wasn't the case. It just where the chips was jumping around. So what I had to do is take each chip out and replace it one by one. And then all of the 4 channels came back, and then I put the 5th chip in, and all the ink channels came back. So all those chips in the series was no more good. But you can take those ink chips and use those in another printer. So they're just not going to be in series with this printer. But the next printer you have, you can use them all day long. So a lot of people don't understand that you can use the ink chips from a 7890 on a 7900. You have to just add 2 chips, the green and the orange. That's it. So yeah, them chips is all interchangeable. From the 9900 to the 9890, you can use the same chips. It just one of the printers gonna have more and one of them gonna have less. That's it. So, but yeah, I'm gonna do a cleaning on this printer right here. This printer I've been dealing with for I'm gonna say 3 weeks now, and it's fully back up and going. This is a 11 channel printer right here that you see. Yeah, so we got this up and going for a customer, and it was really that time consuming. I had to flush the printer out, print head, and the printer. It's crazy because some printers they have different. It depends, I guess, because with this printer right here, when I got it, it was not printing anything. It only had probably just a cyan in a green printing on the actual on the actual nozzle check. So I just took the printer apart, took the print head off, and took the printer head apart, the manifold, everything, and just soaked it, and it came back. But what I did was, the thing is, I use warm solutions. I don't use anything cold. I use something that's warm. And then it's another guy has, you know, piezo flush in his printer, and he said it's no more good. But he used that because he seen somebody use piezo flush in their printer. But now his printer's printing no more at all. And like I say, I'm not an expert. I just learned from trial and error. But to give you a FYI, I wouldn't use piezo flush in my printer if I'm trying to flush out the ink selector or flush out the ink channels. Let me show you. That's what I would do. Now, everybody got their own techniques of what they do, right? But this is what I does. Now with these channels, I would actually put warm water and flush it through these lines. But I would disconnect it from the actual ink selector on both sides, and just run warm water through my tubes. Because if you don't, first of all, you're gonna be spending too much money on piezo flush and extra cartridges, right? that's gonna be a couple of $100s, and that's not gonna be the good case for you. And then another thing too, with the piezo flush, it's like one thing I don't like. Thought I had an ink select another damper over here, but okay. Well, anyways, inside here you have these dampers that sit inside here, and you can pop these dampers out. But the thing about it is, people don't really understand. Like, let me see if I can get this out real quick. Uh, Let me see if I can pull this damper out. But this is the main piece that's right here, right? I don't have my flathead screwdriver, but this piece, this damper pops out right here. It's a little piece on the side. You grab this little piece and pull it. It's kind of hard, but I normally have a flathead screwdriver that I put in here, and you pull this out. But inside this damper, it gets solution that sits inside right here, and you don't want to keep trying to put that solution in and then actually run ink through it or run a cleaning, and then it just gets caught up inside your damper, and then what happens long term, it mixes in with the ink, and then it starts to fade the prints, or then starts to make the printer not print good. And later on down the line, you start feeling out your print start look kind of faded, and I got them little banding in it. But that solution is affecting your print head. That's what's going on. I'm trying to see if I have my damper, if I can show you. Because on the damper, you have two different sides on it. For the one color, green or yellow, it's going to be on both sides of the dampers. Two different channels on both sides. And you don't want to get that solution in there. So I don't use that. I don't recommend anybody use that. I just use warm water. Why? Because your ink is made out of what was water-based, right? Think about it. That's why I say sometimes you got to use common sense, because, you know, a lot of stuff has reactions and things and whatnot. I just seen videos where people use piezo flush too, and it actually worked. And they say, hey, I put one, but they take one cartridge. They take one cartridge and put it in there, just on that one channel, on that one line. They don't put piezo flush in every last channel. They put it on that one line. But it's still the same thing. But like I said, I wouldn't use it. I ain't never used piezo flush. You know, either when I first started off doing DTF, I just, looked at certain things like as cancer to your printer, and that's one of them. So, people use all type of different other type of things, but that's just the flushing their printer out. But me personally, I just take it apart, take the print head apart, take everything apart, and I just go ahead and flush it and soak it in sections and then put it back. But you have to be very careful, because if you don't dry the print head out, you think you got problems, you're going to have problems with that main board or motherboard. You'll have problems with that. Because once you blow that out, that's when the ink cartridges start playing Ring Around the Rosie. You see the whole cartridges, you pull one of them out, none of them. Put it back in, nothing happens. And then you're like, what the heck is going on? Motherboard, main board. And then you get that 1A39 code. That's the either main board, ribbon cable. What's another one? Motherboard, ribbon cable, or print head. When you see that code, it's going to be red, A139 across the screen. You're done. You're done. So, I done went through all these problems, but let me show you what we printed with this printer. So I can show you guys that this printer is actually about to be on the way out of here. And the gones. Show you how this little image right here kind of looks. It looks super nice. It looks dope. Show you these images right here. They look dope. Let's see. Yep, but this is how they came out right here. We had you can see that. So you don't have any banding, anything inside the print. So the print head is in great condition. Yeah. You have 11 channels that's working. So yeah. So I've been the last 2 days. Well, last 3 days. I've been training somebody, how to work their printer, how to, figure it out. It was going pretty good. They get it. They get it. It's a lot of different, technical things that goes on, but you tell them how to properly work their software, how to actually switch the dot sizes, how to actually, if you want to get a more softer print, what type of settings you can use inside your Alcorip software if you're using Alcorip. Basically, how to identify clogged nozzles, how to make sure that you keep your printer running optimum. And there's a lot of things that we cover within a couple of weeks in the training. And it just keep your printer and keep you sound and understand what's really going on with your machine. So you can be able to prepare your machine, troubleshoot, change parts if you have to, and just keep the machine going. Because these printers, the environment, keeping them running, just having all the basics. Just have it is just lock down all the basics and go a little bit technical and get the printer printing back, get it back up printing or keep it printing, because there's going to be a time that when you're going to have to change the print head. And some people only probably going to use, I say, 30 days, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months. You probably start having problems with the printer. You can do a perfect nozzle check. Looks great, print fine. And 3 days later, have some issues. 4 days later, have some issues. And it don't have to be the nozzle. It don't have to be the print head. It can be the environment around the printer. Or if what you do adaptation-wise or whatnot. So I'm going to cut this short. Let you guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy mine. Until another video, I'm gone. Peace.